Did you know that UGC NET English Literature has evolved significantly over the past decade? Certain topics they appear frequently, while new question formats they have been immersed. And if you are serious enough about qualifying this examination, then you need to understand the trends that I'm going to talk about, because understanding these trends can prove to be a game changer for you. So, hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So, in today's video, I'm going to talk about some of the areas you need to focus more about the new emerging question patterns and smart preparation strategies. So, in this video, I'm going to break down some of the key focus areas, question patterns and smart preparation strategies that is based on past 10 years examination. So let's dive in and learn how we can qualify this examination with some good marks. So now let's first talk about the core trends, or we can say the key areas that we need to focus more. We are going to talk about how the question is divided based on the syllabus. So mostly we can see that year after year, British literature remains the core of the UGC NET English. So from Chaucer to the modernist authors, expect multiple questions from different eras. For example, you'll often see chronology based questions, and now they are asking even for the minor writers, date of the year, birth year, their publication date, in which work, some of the famous works publication date. Even they are asking minor authors, minor writers, even minor writers, minor works. So you need to remember all the major and minor writers, starting from birth date to the date when they died, and their works publication year. These things you need to remember, because chronology is in demand in our UGC English literature. I know it's a bad fact, because in our English literature it need to focus more on the conceptualizing question, but they are just focusing more on the rote memorization. But what can we do? The question they are asking, we need to prepare ourselves based on that. So I'll say that maximum British literature dominates, and I don't know the other opinion of other teachers, but I'll say that in my opinion, and the much I have analyzed the past year papers, I have seen that British literature kind of dominates, like 30% to 40% questions can be asked. It's seen that it is asking in it, NTA was asking these type of questions from British literature. So chronology based questions on Shakespeare's plays, romantic poets, Victorian novels, these are the major areas you need to focus, and after that you should focus on the minor areas as well. Now also you expect question like theme based questions on postmodernism, modernism and influence of the Renaissance. For example, they can ask explain me about the characteristics of the modernism, or what is the modernist literature's themes that we find in any modern work or postmodern work. So you need to focus on the themes also, on their history also, on the concepts, you need to have a clear conceptual clarity of every age. For example, I'm giving you an example. A typical question: arrange the following Shakespearean plays in chronological order: Hamlet, Othello, Macbeth, King Lear. So you need to know when these works were being published, and you have to arrange that based on what the question demands from us. Now, the other literary trend we can see that we are seeing that there is a significant rise in literary theory and criticism. Okay, so in the last decade, I have seen that literary criticism has gained more weightage, with frequent questions on structuralism, post-structuralism, and the writers associated with it, like Chaucer, Derrida, feminist literary criticism, Ellen Showalter, Simone de Beauvoir, and others, Marxism, post-colonialism, psychoanalytic theory, and they are mostly focusing on like graphic literature literature, ecofeminism, eco-criticism, blue humanities. These are the emerging trends. Like now also you can expect that they can ask questions based on the AI also. What is the impact of AI in literature? So they can ask this type of question. So we need to prepare ourselves based on what had been asking NTA to us, and the emerging topics, the emerging trending topics in our literature now. So we need to stay updated with the world of our literature, so that we can expect any questions and we can answer these questions also. So for example, I'm giving an example of a rise in literary theory and criticism, that they can ask a very common question: who coined the term intentional fallacy? As we know, the answer is W.K. Wimshett and Monroe Beardsley. So these are the questions. They practice this type of question. The more you'll practice the past year papers, the more you are going to have a clear conceptual understanding of, okay, what can be asked in the examination. Now, there is an increased emphasis on Indian and American literature. We have seen this, okay? So, Indian and American authors are appearing more frequently in exams. So, you need to pay attention to the Indian English poets like Toru Dutta, Nizam Ezekiel, Rabindranath Tagore, Anita Desai, Arundhati Roy. They are the major writers. Also, now, as in today's world, the emerging writers of our Indian literature, you need to focus on them also. You need to focus on who got Sahitya Academy Award, the types of award that is in our India based on the literature, for the literature. You need to focus on them also. Okay, and if you talk about particularly American literature, then American writers like Walt Whitman, Emily Dickinson, Toni Morrison, they are always in demand. So you must need to read about these writers. Now, which Indian author, for example, I am saying that which Indian author wrote the Shadow Lines? We all know the answer. That's Amitav Ghosh. So you need to know about all the major and minor writers of every literature, and you need to remember all their works and the publication dates and the characters in it, the themes in it. Basically, if I say, you need to remember everything. Because now from I think 2 years, they are more majorly focusing on the rote memorization. So you need to side by side, after your conceptual clarity, you need to focus on this rote memorization things. Okay. Now, there is also major focus we can see in research methods and cultural studies. The questions are increasing on these topics like research methods and cultural studies. We need to take research methodology very seriously, because it's only going to help us while we prepare for our PhD journey. And if you talk about the cultural studies, because it's in demand now. Okay, even students are taking cultural studies, some topics based on cultural studies for their research area. They are focusing more on this cultural study for their research. So UGC NET is becoming interdisciplinary, as we all know. So questionnaire cultural studies, media theories, and linguistics are more common now. So you might get like, for example, Michael Foucault's ideas on power and discourse, Noam Chomsky's generative grammar. So these are the basic questions. Okay, for example, if I'll say, who wrote Discipline and Punish? We all know the answer, that is Michael Foucault. So we need to know about all the major writers and the theories that is there in the cultural studies, also linguistics, and in research methods also. So, as we understood some of the key trends that has been going on from the past some years, now let's talk about the type of questions that are coming and that was already there. So they're like the basic types of question. The basic type of question, the first basic type of question is the chronology based, as I already said. So we need to understand the types of question, because it's crucial. Okay, only if we know how the questions are appearing, maybe we are going to have a preparation based on that. So understanding the types of question is crucial, as I said. So here are some of the most common formats that I have tried to gather that is seen in the past papers. So first, as I said, the chronology based questions. They ask arrange the works of a particular author or literary movement in the correct order. So as I already said, the date of birth, the publication date of works, their date here, even the minor writer and major writer, both are important. We cannot skip in today's time. We cannot skip even the minor writers. We need to focus on minor and major both, and we need to keep ourselves up with the emerging literary trends and emerging writers also, because they are asking question based on that. Now there is match the following, they'll ask match authors with their works or literary movements, and assertion region question. So evaluate, they can ask that evaluate statement based on these literary concepts. So you need to have a clear idea about all the literary concepts of our literature. And in the end, there is passage based questions, they'll ask you to analyze given poetry or prose experts. It's the most common thing that we get in the exam, and we all think that okay, it's very easy. We don't practice passage questions, but in exam we'll see that some students in their overconfidence they mark the wrong answer because they think that that's the right answer, because for the lack of practice, and we know that we can do all the things, this type of confidence, many students face problems with this, and they often answer the wrong answer. So you should focus on the passage based questions also. For example, if I'll say an assertion reason question, so the assertion was like T.S. Eliot's wasteland reflects post-war disillusionment, and the reason was Eliot's poem follows a strict narrative structure. Here the answer will be that only assertion is correct, as the poem, the T.S. Eliot's Wasteland, it reflects on post-war disillusionment. But the reason here, as we say, that the reason here is Eliot's poem follows a strict narrative structure, which is a very wrong concept. Because the poem is a fragmented structure. Okay, these are the types of question mostly you are going to get asked in the examination. Now, let's talk about the smart preparation strategies you all need to know. Okay, first, the step one, you should prioritize the British literature. Cover all the major authors and literary movements in depth. Focus on Renaissance, Romanticism, Victorian era, Modernism, Postmodernism, on all these ages and things. Okay. Next, focus on world literature, and majorly you should focus on American and African literature, because as comparison to other literatures, they asked mostly questions can be seen based on American and African literature. So we need to focus on them more, and also focus on the American literature's literary movements. They are also important. Also, focus on literary terms. There are so many literary terms we don't know, and I have already made 2 videos on literary terms. The one is the basic literary terms that you need to know, and I have made some 40, I think, advanced literary terms that you need to know. Some of the literary terms we think that we know, but actually we don't know. So I have prepared advanced literary term a video based on the advanced literary terms. You all can go and check that video out in the channel. Okay, so you should focus on literary terms. And next, you also focus on poetic devices like the sound devices, the meter, the rhythm, the syllable. You need to focus on them because question can be asked from that part also. And figures of speech, you need to focus on the figures of speech. Mostly if you focus on every literary terms, you are going to get the figures of speech there. But if you want to practice separately for the figures of speech, I have also made a video on the figures of speech. You all can go and check that video out. Okay, and you need to learn all the key theories and their critics. So understand all the key theories like structuralism, post-structuralism, feminism, Marxism, eco-criticism, blue humanities, post-colonialism. These appear frequently in exam. So you should learn all the key theories and the critics associated with it, and the critics' work and what they are saying in those particular works. Try to highlight the important points that is being said in those works. Okay, and the main important thing, you need to solve at least 10 years of previous year question papers to analyze what trends are there, what question pattern. Maybe I'll say everything to you, but whenever you are going to approach those past year papers on your own, the understanding becomes better. Okay, so regularly practice these previous year question papers so that it is going to help you to identify the patterns and what are your weak areas. And so the more past papers you solve, the better your exam approach will be, according to me, because that worked for me. So I guess it's going to work for you as well. Now, focus on research methods and cultural studies, as I said. So with increasing questions from research methodology and cultural studies, reading about scholars like Foucault, Stuart Hall, Raymond Williams, that can be beneficial. So you need to outsmart your preparation strategies. You need to have a proper plan how you are going to approach the questions, how you are going to prepare yourself for the examination. That's important. Now that you know the key trends in UGC NET English Literature examination, it's time you should start preparing for your plan. And if you all found this video helpful, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. Also, let me know in the comment section which literary topic you would like me to cover next, and I'm going to see you all with the next topic that you will all decide. I'll see you all in the next video. Till then, be safe and keep reading literature.